What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a late night hangout session here on DSP Gaming for May 18, 2024. It's impromptu. We were going to do a game. Man, didn't feel like it. So we're just chilling. First hour, we had some great conversation. And now we're back for more. Another hour or so. Let's see what people want to talk about. Just tag me in the chat at DSP Gaming if you would like to talk. And, of course, I'm doing live shout-outs for all contributions coming in tonight. Matt says, you know what game you should try again? Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Really? On the Genesis? I didn't really get it, did I? I think I tried to figure it out and I couldn't figure it out that well, right? I remember it was kind of a silly game. Those puzzle games in the 90s were intriguing. I liked the ones that were in arcades, like Magical Drop was a really good one. But I don't know if people would want to see me play Mean Bean Machine again. At the Gamer says, do you plan to play X Defiant for a stream? No, I have like zero interest in it. It's just basically what people are saying about X Defiant. It's like the poor man's Call of Duty, although people are like, it's actually pretty good. It's not like a cheap version of Call of Duty. It's just Call of Duty, but not made by the people who make Call of Duty. So, of course, people who are into FPS games and only Call of Duty are like, oh my God, there's a game to play now between now and the new Call of Duty. Thank God, because this is when the community usually stagnates, right? But for me, I don't really care. I don't think it's going to be something that I'm too interested in. Again, this is the kind of stuff that if you guys think it would be good, let me know. But if it's something you have to buy or, you know, I'm probably not too interested in it. Exactly. At the Gamer says it'll be like the finals, a trend for a month, and that's it. The finals. Does anyone even talk about that anymore? I remember it came out and everyone was like, oh, you got to try it. I was like, nah, I'll wait. And now no one cares. So Jordan says still feeling good about Another Crab's Treasure's ending. It was great. Another Crab's Treasure is one of those games that it took the idea of a Souls-like and it made it its own and had its own original. I'm going to be honest with you. The plot of Another Crab's Treasure was easier to follow, more well-written, and made more sense than any FromSoft plot. Because FromSoft plots are hidden within the narrative. You have to look at items and stare at fucking clues on the wall and invent lore explanations. And with Another Crab's Treasure, the story just unfolded as you played the game. And at the end, you're like, wow, I seriously teared up a bit at the end. I was like, the character had crazy development, like really well-written character development. At the end of the game, had a really nice ending. And I was like, holy shit, I wasn't expecting that in a Souls-like from an indie studio about a goddamn hermit crab. So I strongly recommend Another Crab's Treasure. Are we going to do the Throwback Olympics game with Rambo or just Metal Gear Solid? Clyde Baxter, what we're doing this week is Dark Souls tomorrow night. That's what won the poll. And then we're going to see how that goes. If people like it, we'll continue with Dark Souls. If it's okay, but it's not too great, we may alternate and do other games that were in the poll. But right now, it's Dark Souls tomorrow. It's called environmental storytelling, says Rolor. What is? You mean the plots in FromSoft games? Yeah, it's basically called, like, cryptic storytelling. And for some people, it works. Just like the rest of the game of Soulsborne games, if you don't understand the mechanics, it's very cryptic to figure it out. But then once you figure it out, it's like, wow, it's amazing. It's the same thing with the stories. Like, on face value, the story of FromSoft games is very weak. You'll play through the game the first time, and if you're not reading every single description on every item you get, and you're not doing side quests and things, you'll have no idea what the fuck the game was about. You'll beat it and be like, I fucking rekindled the first flame. I did what? I fucking put a guy who eats his own dung, I just put him on the throne as an Elden Lord. Like, what just happened? Right? You won't even know. You don't even fucking care. You're like, I don't know what this is. But then if you go beyond just that surface and you spend a lot of time doing research and, again, reading all the item descriptions and shit during the game, all of a sudden you'll realize there's a lot there. I just wish, honestly, they would put more on surface level. I don't see the meaning behind hiding that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't. I don't see the meaning. Why are you hiding the plot from me? Just give it to me. I would like the plot. I think the plot, if you actually go to the real plots of those games, they're not bad at all. Just they're hidden within these cryptic shit. Why did you hide the story from me? Why didn't you give it to me? I paid for your game. I would like you to deliver the game to me now, not make me go seek it out. It's like, the game's hard enough to learn and play. Now you're actually going to make me work just to learn the story too? Right? How about this? How about you buy a FromSoft game and someone immediately takes your controller and just fucking smashes it into pieces. So now to even play the game, you got to sit here for 2-3 hours gluing your controller back together before you can figure out you can't even play it yet, right? But hey, that would add another level of difficulty and time investment. So maybe FromSoft gamers, you know, the Soulsborne fans would love that too. I don't know. I'm a Soulsborne fan, but that is a pet peeve of mine. Just give me the goddamn story, right? Rex 420 Red says, what console do you hold closest in your heart? Mine's Xbox 360 for some reason. Super Nintendo. Super Nintendo for me was the formative console that when I got it and I started playing amazing games on it, and it had a great rental library you can get from Blockbuster or rental stores, and a great solid first-party library of games that I owned, you know, home ports of games like Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting, Zelda Link to the Past, Mario World, Final Fantasy 4 and 6, which were actually called 2 and 3 back then. I mean, I can keep going on and on, the insane amount of great games on that console. It blew me away. And I knew I was going to be a lifelong gamer after I played my Super Nintendo. That's the one for me. Anso Kamaru says, new style Souls-likes like Another Crab's Treasure, Stellar Blade, Lies of P have way better storytelling than FromSoft games, better music too. I'll have to tend to agree with you. Like Lies of P, was there some cryptic stuff in it? There was. But I generally understood the plot. Like, I don't remember ever being, like, ultimately confused about what was going on. That was a good thing. The Gamer says, what are your thoughts on the new Funko Fusion game? I don't know anything about it. I know it's supposed to be, like, tied into Funko figures or whatever. I don't have any, so I don't know anything about it. Yeah, I can't even speak to it. Rolor says, did you ever consider why the Lake of Liurnia is sinking? It's above the Lake of Ra, but they don't tell you that. Mm-hmm. Oh. And? Anyway. Okay. The Gamers, a full-length trailer release for with gameplay and all. September release date would be good fun to react to. Oh, cool. I knew it was coming out. I didn't see the trailer. Seeing the trailer might be a good idea. If you're someone who nominates videos for my react show every Sunday, you want to nominate this Funko game coming out in September so we can watch the trailer together, see what it's about, that would be a cool idea, for sure. In fact, right after the stream ends, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm putting together the playlists for tomorrow's react show. So... okay, what's going on? Now all of a sudden I started part 2 for the night, and the chat has dramatically slowed down. Like, this chat was flying before I went to pee. I went and took a piss, I come back, why did the chat slow down so much? What happened? Did we lose a bunch of viewers? Not really. So, what's going on? You guys gotta, you guys gotta get a coffee. You guys gotta go get yourself a coffee. Right? You do. I had my coffee before the stream. Slayer, you still here? Cool. Why don't I watch the trailer now instead of expecting compensation for watching a trailer? Because I don't have anything set up in my stream to be pulling up a trailer and watching it. That's not the kind of show this is. This is just an impromptu live stream we did on the fly. I don't have it ready to go. I don't have a capture thing to capture a fucking browser window. Like, what are you talking about? I literally have a react show set up that I can do on every Sunday. It's all ready to go, and people submit clips to watch. If this is a clip you want me to watch, why would you not submit it for the react show? Right? So instead of trying to make it sound like something it's not, how about you grow a fucking brain and you shut the fuck up and stop being disrespectful in my chat because you're an idiot. Okay? What an asshole. What a moron. Have I explored psychedelics? No, I have not. Only drug I ever did was weed and, you know, liquor, drinking. That's it. Never went crazy with anything else. Jared says, I had too many glasses of Woodford Reserve. That's not good. You gotta negate that. Have some water, eat some stuff. You can't be just drinking constant hard liquor. And then if you know you drank too much, that's a problem. That's really bad. Oh, my nose is itching tonight. My allergies are starting to act up. I can definitely tell. I've noticed my face, my nose, things are itching. I started sneezing again last couple of days. I'm like, oh, it's time. It's that time of year. Here come the allergies, man. They're coming bad. Add the Gamer says, I feel like it's overdue to have a remaster of Infamous 1 and 2. Yeah, that's so odd to me because Infamous 1 and 2 were giant games, right? Huge. Big money makers for Sony. And then Infamous Second Son came out, and it was disappointing. Admittedly, it's not a terrible game, but it just didn't live up to the first two. The main protagonist isn't nearly as interesting as Cole. And the problem there, I feel, was they tried to change the whole, like, it's set in Seattle. There's a lot of hipster kind of stuff in it. They wanted to make it be like more of a different culture than Cole was. And it definitely kind of changed the vibe of the game. Weird part is the visuals of the game were great at the time on PS4. It just, the rest of the game wasn't as good. It wasn't as well written or anything as the first two. And then after that, I feel like what it was they invested a lot in the game and wanted it to go crazy good. And it sold, but not as well as they wanted. And then they remember they even did the expansion, and people were like, it was all right. And I think after that, they just said, we'll go in a different direction. They did. Like, we know they made other games and stuff since then. That's just a shame, though. I really like that franchise. I liked Infamous 1 and 2. I thought Second Son was decent, but I really liked Infamous 1 and 2 back in the day. And I kind of missed the franchise. I wish there were more games like that, right? Let's see here. I received a $3 tip. I caught the end of your earlier stream. You were playing a third-person shooter with a crab. That 360 no-scope was sweet. Yes, what you saw was that in Another Crab's Treasure, which is a Souls-like game, there's an accessibility mode where you can actually use a gun. And it makes the game insanely easy because everything dies with one hit to the gun. So it's just a way for someone who basically can't really play a tough game to be able to get through the game and see it. And it's nice that it has that feature, quite frankly. So that's what you saw. A hermit crab with a giant gun on its back shooting things and one shot killing everything. It was pretty funny. Okay. You felt Infamous 1 was too Telltale-like because your choices didn't make a difference. Yeah, admittedly, you're right. Remember, there was the good karma, bad karma. It doesn't really matter. Either side, you get this kind of the same ending anyway, right? Slayer says he's playing Fallout 4. He's enjoying a cheat mod. I encounter hell-level enemies that are in 200-plus level because I'm that level, and I keep using mini-nukes on them. Jeez. I'm sure with mods, that game is absolutely insane, right? Any of those games are probably absolutely insane with a bunch of mods slapped on. I received another $2 tip. This one is from, it doesn't say. It's crazy. I just hit 30 years old. I'm just now, everything in hindsight is becoming clearer. I'm more mature and can handle difficult situations easier. The only thing I'm dealing with now is regretting stupid stuff I did in my 20s, treating people like shit and replaying scenarios of what could I have been. Do you get the feeling too? I've said as much. When I was in my 20s, I was heavily into Street Fighter. And I said and did things really stupidly in that age that now I look back and I'm just fucking embarrassed that I acted like that and that I basically was an online troll for a lot of people. And a lot of people in the Street Fighter community didn't like me because I was known like that. And it's like, wow, that was stupid. Because really when my eyes opened up was later on, during my future runs when I was actually doing better competitively at Street Fighter. And then I said, you know, I'm not going to do the trolling shit anymore. Instead, I'm going to let my gameplay speak for itself. And then people started to respect me. And then I started to run tournaments and people started to respect me even more in the community. And I was like, I like this much better than just being an asshole, right? Than just being some kind of a fucking online heel dickhead. So, you know, and then, you know, you look back at my early YouTube days and it's like, I know for a fact I didn't do anything back then to try to specifically offend anybody. You know what I'm saying? I tried my best to make content that everyone understood that I was just joking. But now I look back at that early YouTube content and I realize a lot of people today not seeing it in context to who I was or the time probably think I was serious about that shit, right? Like, for example, I did a countdown in 2010, the most racist comments of the year. And today, you could watch it back then in 2010. Literally, everyone laughed their asses off at it. They were like, wow, it's hilarious. Silly racist comments that were made. But, of course, everyone knows Darkseid Phil's not serious. Today, out of context, you probably watch that countdown and be like, oh, my God. DSP and his friends are a bunch of horrible, racist people, right? That's the thing. Like, in context versus out of context, things are very different. So now I look back and I'm like, you know, in retrospect, as funny as it was at the time, it probably was a stupid decision. Because eventually people are going to look at it in the future and not understand it. And that's exactly what it's been. You know, now people go back to things I did in 2010 and act like I did it today. And like, I would never do that shit today. I'm not stupid, and I'm not in that mindset, because now people would find it offensive. I had no intention of offending anyone with that stuff back then. But anyway, yeah, that's what I mean. As I get older, you learn. You know what I'm saying? You absolutely learn from experience, and you change for the better. And that's what I've done. The content I make today, I don't think anyone's going to say if they find it offensive. You know, maybe the only thing you can find offensive is me, you know, cracking shit talk against Street Fighter players. And if you find that offensive, I mean, you really are a pussy. I'm sorry. Like, if you think that me playing a fighting game and saying, you're a horrible person, you're a scrub, you're a button pusher, and you fucking suck, and you're a whore, you know, stupid. Like, why would you get offended at that? It's just dumb shit talk of a fucking video game, right? Everyone does it, and it's always been. In fighting games, it used to be so required to do that, right? But that's literally the only thing I think you can really watch me do today and actually get, like, offended at what I do, right? Outside of that, I'm just some chill guy playing games and trying to have a good time with you guys, and that's all it's really about. But, you know, I look back at the days of Street Fighter, I'm like, damn, I was an asshole to so many people, and that's fucking stupid, you know? And then I look at my early days as a YouTuber, and I'm like, well, I wasn't trying to actively piss people off, but I can understand how it did over time, and that sucks. I never intended for that, right? Now I try to be a better person. So, yeah, when you get older, you kind of, it's like they say, hindsight is 20/20, but when you're in the moment of that stuff happening, you don't realize it, right? All I can say is everyone probably has things they're embarrassed at or ashamed of that they did in their past, and as long as you just don't continue to make those same mistakes over and over and be that awful version of you, that's all you can do. Try to improve as you get older and wiser, right? How much is it going to take me to get stoned on stream one night? Never. I'm not getting stoned on stream. I don't smoke weed. I'm never going to be smoking weed on stream, ever. Slayer says, I'm using my power armor. I got unlimited armor cores now. Oh, really? Power cores? And I get unlimited ammo to cruise through the game. So that's, man. So there you go. That's a free ride. Jared says, most of the chat lived through Modern Warfare 2 2009 lobbies. No need to defend yourself. Times have definitely changed. Do I have any interest in blockchain or Bitcoin? No, I don't have any money. Don't have time to worry about that shit. The Gamer says, how can people call you racist when two of your closest friends back in the day were Asian and African American? I grew up in a multicultural community. My next door neighbor was Irish. The one house down was, the kid was from Puerto Rico. The kid one street over was black. And we were all friends. And we would get together and all play and hang out and have a good time. We didn't care what race we were. My elementary school was multicultural as well. Most kids in my elementary school were not white. I was actually considered like almost a minority in my elementary school. It was a lot of you know, again, black, Asian, Hispanic kids in my elementary school. And I like basically we didn't see it that way because we were all different colors right from the get-go. So we were already mixed in and integrated together, and we didn't see each other as different because of that. And that's a good thing, because you know I don't think that way in my life. I just don't see someone for their race or their ethnicity at all. I never even think that in my head at once. If it's brought up by someone, then I kind of, oh yeah, that's right. I don't even think about it that way, you know? And you're right, like my best friend when I was growing up, he was Asian, and we were friends playing video games together. And then my best friend when I was you know, a teenager, he was my rival in arcades, T. Carter. He was black, you know? Yes, my friends in high school were white, admittedly. That one friend group that I had. But then immediately, again, when I went into competitive Street Fighter, like seriously, if I think about my friend group, most of my friends were Asian. Some were black, some were white. I'd say that core group during that era when I was traveling and playing competitive Street Fighter before I met John Rambo, like two of my closest friends, one was Puerto Rican and one was black. And we were going around playing fighting games together, you know, going to tournaments and stuff. So I didn't give a shit. I literally could not care. I'm probably the person who on this planet least cares about someone's race. It's not a concern. To me, everyone can be a great person and everyone could be a fucking asshole, right? Like the skin color, the background, the ethnicity has nothing to do with it. It has to do with the individual choices of the person to be a certain kind of person. And it has nothing to do with you know, anything like that. Because I've known I've known white people who were absolutely horrendous, terrible fucking people who I would never want to speak to ever again because they were so vile. But I've also known really nice white people. And I know that for every group, you know? It's the same for everyone. Everyone has that capacity to make choices in their life and be different. It has nothing to do with judging people at that kind of shit. You know what I mean? Oh, let's see here. Oh, I got a $1.50 tip. Opinions on New Jersey. I feel like it's the perfect mix of city, beach, and mountains. I have no idea. I never spent much time in New Jersey. I only went through it a few times to travel to tournaments and stuff when I lived on the East Coast. Never really spent a significant amount of time there, so I cannot really comment on it. Except for Newark. All right? This is no exaggeration. When I was growing up in the 2000s, I would frequently drive through Newark, New Jersey on the highway to get through that state to go to Street Fighter tournaments. For some reason, Newark smells like a rotten egg. I don't know what's up with that, but every single time you drive through Newark, New Jersey on that highway, it smells like a rotten egg. If you open your window, you'll be grossed out. I don't know what the hell's going on with Newark, New Jersey. That's just a fact, an observation I had. That's not me being like prejudiced or nothing against Newark. I know no one from Newark. That place just smells awful. I don't get it. How do you live in a place like that? It smells like that. Like, what the hell happened? I don't get it. Is there an ongoing sulfur fire in Newark that no one can stop and it just uncontrollably makes this stink in the air? Like, what is that shit? It's so bizarre. And how did no one do anything about it or say anything? Like, that's Newark. Just let them burn, right? It's like saying, oh, that's Silent Hill over there. We just don't go over there. Those people are a little weird. They walk around with knives and fucking weird, you know, mutations. It's fine. Just ignore them. The armpit of the U.S.? That's messed up. That's messed up, man. Do I ever get sick of playing games for work? No, not really. Because the good thing is I'm a variety content creator. I keep explaining this to people. That I'm a variety dude. All right? I do not play too much of anything particularly. And because I do variety content, I'm not burnt out. I mean, just this week, think of what I've done so far. Fallout 4, Street Fighter 6, and Another Crab's Treasure. None of those games are similar. Right? Now, on a particular night like tonight, we were going to do some multiplayer. I decided against it. I'm like, it's not a big deal. You know, we're not really into it. We could do this instead. This is variety. Tomorrow, we're going to do React content, where I'll be reacting to clips from the internet and then my old Dark Souls playthrough. Completely different stuff. So, because I'm a variety creator, I just don't get bored. If I were only doing the same kind of thing all day, every day, I would definitely get bored. If I just played first-person shooters like Call of Duty, if I just played fighting games, I would seriously get fucking bored. So I'm glad that that's not the case. I'm glad that I do variety. Yeah, but Slayer, that's like that in any major city. Any major city is going to have areas of the city that essentially are considered, how can I say? You go to any major city in the United States, maybe this is the same for every major city in the world. I don't know. I can only attest for the United States. If you go to New York City, if you go to Chicago, if you go to LA, Los Angeles, if you go to Las Vegas, if you go to Houston, Texas, if you go to Miami, Florida, there's going to be parts of the city that are super ritzy, super clean, super expensive, and meant to be the place that you see when you first walk in. Oh, look at this. It's representative of us. It's touristy. Everyone be here, right? And then there's always a part of the city that's just really fucked up. It's dirty. It's vile. There's crime. There's homelessness. There's, you know, it's just not good. I think it's like that in every major city in the United States. I've not been to a single one yet that's not like that. There's always the half they want you to see and the half they don't want you to see, right? So, because what Slayer was saying was, I have a friend who went to San Francisco and said that where he was, the streets smelled awful because there was a lot of, like, you know, homeless people and things there. It's like that in every major city. Like, it's a problem we have in the United States where we basically shove things to the side and pretend it doesn't exist when it's really a rampant problem. Homelessness is one of them. Crime is one of them. You know, and we just, oh, yeah, whatever. We'll deal with it. And then no one deals with it. And it just gets worse. But they don't talk about it. Instead, what you see is that thing, like San Francisco. Right now, if you looked up San Francisco online, you'd see all these nice videos about how nice it is. Look, here's the touristy shit. Here's the this bridge and all this shit, right? That's how they are. But in reality, there's always the bad side of it too, right? I received a $2 tip. Newark smells like rotten eggs. There's a Passaic Valley sewage plant, the third largest sewage plant in the country. Is that true? Is it sitting right next to the highway? If so, whose fucking genius idea was that? That the one thing that most people are going to see about your city is a sewage plant that stinks to high heaven that sits right next to the highway when they drive through it. I mean, what a bunch of morons. Put that shit on the other side so no one smells it. What a bunch of dumbasses. Who did that, made that decision? Yeesh. Okay. Ah, big smear. It's Gunner Glasses time, guys. Thanks for your support tonight. Got about another half an hour to hang out with everybody. All right? Thank you so very much for the support tonight. Really appreciate that. Okay. There we go. Let's see here. Vietnamese Comrade says Vietnam has banned Steam. You talked about that a week or two ago. That you said, I guess there was some weird thing about Steam wasn't paying the Vietnam government or something. You were saying. So now people are mad because they're forced to play games from Vietnamese game devs only, and they're very mad at making games. Wow. Well, I'm sad to hear that. Sorry to hear that. Maybe don't get games on Steam. Can you get consoles? Can you actually get like an Xbox or a PlayStation and play that way? Maybe that's your answer? Stop PC gaming? It kind of sucks, but that would really stink, right? What are you going to do? The reason that I don't do a soundboard, someone just asked, why don't I do a soundboard? I could. Like, literally right now, I could make it to any contribution a sound plays. I just think it's too intrusive. Like, right now, it wouldn't matter. If we did it right now, who cares if there was sound playing? But in particular, if I'm playing a video game, I don't like the idea of intrusive sounds playing and interrupting the gameplay. Imagine if it's like a really tense part and all of a sudden it's like, or what if it's like, you know, some dumb thing that I'm saying like, gold grind, you don't have to try gold grind. Imagine if they erupted in the middle of like an emotional or important scene, or like in the middle of a fucking survival horror game, and I'm creeping through a hallway, and at any moment something could happen, and all of a sudden pop up, gold grind. Oh, goldy, goldy grind. You know, that would be pretty dumb. So that's what I don't like that. It's intrusive. I know other streamers do it. They think it's fine. I don't think it's fine. It's always been a thing of mine that I don't want to have too much intrusive shit. The pop-up, at least, is just a visual, but it's not going to fucking ruin the gameplay. You know what I'm saying? The Gold Grind song has been a while. Not every once in a while I sing it. I like the Gold Grind song. No lie. That thing is like stuck in my head. It's stuck in my head. Gold grind. You don't have to try. You're just an evil guy trying to kill your family and mom. Oh, gold grind. You're a piece of shit. You sure look like it. And now you're fucking dead. There you go. I love it. I just hear it in my head. I hear, go grind, go grind, go grind, go grind, go grindy, 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 grind. Gets stuck in my head. I start hearing a gold grind song playing in my head. Seriously. Oh my goodness. Where'd the song come from? Nowhere. It just happens. That's what happens when I do certain playthroughs. Things just happen out of nowhere. I have no clue where the gold grind thing came from. Just the name stood out. All of a sudden in Baldur's Gate 3, there's a dude who might be an assassin. His name is Gold Grind. It's like, what? Like, where'd they get that fucking name from? Gold Grind? Right? So that's what I mean, like, it's just, those things happen. There's impromptu, random things that happen. And then people were like, oh, I should do different things. Like, for example, I should do Gold Vest. You are the very, very best. You put the others to the test. No one beats the golden vest. Right? So then if we get the tip skull, I start singing the gold vest song or something. But I don't know, like, I like the meme idea, but I'm not someone who's so heavily into memes that I just get that far into it. Now it has to be a running meme for 7 years or anything like that. So there you go. I've never had a Korean hot dog. I don't know what it is. Never heard of a Korean hot dog. There would be great at improv lyrics, like whose line is it anyway? I might be all right. Sometimes I can do pretty good with that stuff. Sometimes I flop horribly. You got to understand that basically what I've been doing for 16 years is improv. I just sit here playing a game and I'm doing commentary over it, and I'm constantly being having to think about what to say on the fly. You know what I mean? Observational comedy is improv comedy. Excuse me. Do I remember doing a Santa song on KO Gaming? No, I do not. Do not remember any Santa song on KO Gaming. Do I like stand-up? I've never done it, and I don't really watch it. The Gamer says, I'm patiently reading your review of Dead Alive. The movie Dead Alive, or Brain, I think it was also called Brain Dead, right? Who said I was reviewing that? I don't remember saying I was ever going to review Dead Alive. Favorite Metallica song? Oh man, probably Enter Sandman. That's the one everyone says, but I mean, it really is like their most ass-kicking song they've like ever done, I think. Right? Kick butt. I thought it was ass. I kick ass for the Lord. Fade to Black and The Unforgiven. Those are good songs. Remember when they did the orchestra tie-in? What was that song? It was the soothing light at the end of your tunnel is just a freight train coming your way. And it sounded really cool because the orchestra was like so great accompanying them. That was a really good one too. I can't remember the name of the song. I don't listen to modern day music. No, I don't know anything about it. Bush was good for the time. I mean, I probably wouldn't really listen to Bush much anymore if I had a choice, but at the time they were quite good. Machine Head, right? Machine Head was their big one. And then, was it Higher? Take Me Higher? Was that it? No, that was a different band, wasn't it? Or was that Bush? No, Machine Head was the big Bush song. I can't remember specifically what the other songs were that they did. Wasn't, there was one about drugs. There's one about drugs that I remember. I can't remember what it was. It's too long. You guys have been thinking about it, you know, 30 years ago. I don't remember this shit. Creed did Take Me Higher. That's right. Yeah, Bush was Machine Head. And Glycerine. Glycerine. Don't let the days go by. Glycerine. Should have been easier on you. Remember, I'm starting to remember now. Necromancer, you're not banned, but I don't see you tagging me, so I haven't seen your questions. Ratio says, if you could travel anywhere, what would be your top 3 places? For me, I always wanted to do a European trip. Like the major places in Europe. Like I'd like to see some of Great Britain, some of France, some of Italy, some of Germany, that kind of stuff. My wife has always wanted to go to Japan. And so I feel like that would be an awesome place to go together. Outside of that, I haven't even thought. Really, I haven't even thought of like a third place. So. Singing streams like the old MLB streams. Yeah, remember? When all I would do, like I would play MLB, but there was really nothing to do but just swing a baseball, so I would just sing constantly during the streams. Yeah. Those were fun. No, I can't drive a strict shift. I don't think many people can anymore. I never learned. No one taught me. Slayer, I think we were all aware that you have been a fan of K-pop. You follow closely. I think it would be pretty hard to not know that with the amount of videos that you've commissioned and me watching K-pop at this point. If I went to Japan, would I vlog it? Let me put it this way. If we went on a vacation, I would do some vlogging. I would. But it would not be something that I would just post up. It would have to be something that waited until it was safe. I'm not going to start posting up, oh yeah, so here we are, and, you know, at this hotel, at this location, doing this on this day. I'm not doing that. I'm not fucking around, you know? It would have to be like, I go on a vacation, I do some vlogging, and perhaps when I come back, I upload the content, and maybe I either edit it together into montages, you know what I'm saying? Like, do something with it, do like a vacation, or maybe what it could be, I do a stream where we watch back the vacation footage and I react to it. That could be cool, right? That's probably what I would do. I wouldn't be just live uploading videos and shit as I'm there. I think that would be too much of a risk. Because then it's safe. If the vacation's already done and gone, right? And I come back from the vacation, I say, all right, we're going to have a night where all we're going to do is we're going to go through vacation vlogs. I'm going to show you all the things we did and talk about it and everything. That'd be cool. Would you consider a trip to Vancouver a staycation? Well, I don't live in Vancouver, so I don't think so. The whole idea of a staycation is that you're generally staying in the general area you live, but you are taking time off from, say, work or whatever you normally would do to do something. So a staycation would be like if Kat and I took a week off and I didn't work, but instead we just did things around the house. Maybe we took a day and we went into Seattle and did stuff together. We did, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a staycation. Not travel somewhere you don't live. That's a vacation. If I could rebrand, what would I rename my channel? Dicks with Guns, for sure. Dicks with Guns. That would get people showing up. Hey, they showed up in 2011 when I played LA Noire by that name. So why would they not show up for Dicks with Guns, the YouTube channel? There you go. Let's see. I just received a $3 tip from Super Snow Carl Turbo HD Remix. You probably wouldn't like Korean corn dogs. It's coated to the brim in sugar, sauce, and other condiments. Oh, wow. My friend who's Korean introduced me to it. It's very sweet. Ooh. Yeah, I'm not one for tons of sweets. I would probably give it a shot, but I'm not sure if I would really like it. If it's really coated in a ton of sweet condiments and shit, probably not. Excuse me. Okay, anything else, guys? We are winding down. FYI, probably another 15 minutes or so tonight, just so you guys know. So you know what time frame we're looking at here. Any last minute topics to discuss on stream? By the way, thank you. The support tonight for just an impromptu hangout stream was great. I mean, wow, look at those super chats. One membership, but the super chats were good, and the chips quite good for just a random late night stream, so thank you so much for that. Oh, excuse me. Maroon asked me, what's my favorite color? Probably in my life, I probably like black, red, and blue the most. I still like other colors. If you've seen, I have various different shirts that I've worn of many different colors recently, but those are probably my 3 favorites. Wade says, would have been cool to see you play Super Turbo in Japan for the SBO tournament. I think John got knocked out early when he competed. Yeah, from what I'm going to understand, I mean, I don't really remember. And honestly, the weird part about it was there's no footage of it. Like, I guess they tried to record, but there really was no real good recording or anything. I don't get it. I don't know what happened, but yeah. So I mean, I would have loved to play, but listen, it was a completely fair event. I was beaten by 3 people who played better than me that day. You know, I think it was Dom Die, Rambo, and that Vega player whose name eludes me right now. They all played better than me that day. And it's like, well, that's one thing, you know, there's been tournaments where I was upset that I didn't win. That's when I'm legit not upset. Like, they all played their hearts out that day and did really well. So there's no complaints from me. The best people won and got there. If they lost, they lost. You know, I can't make them play well when they go to Japan, right? Toonami is coming back. Oh, that's great. That's just great. I mean, it's another original idea, right? Toonami is coming back. Oh, amazing. All right. Oh, let's see here. The mayor of Newark tipped me $2. And speaking of vacations, I'd like to invite you to a special stay in our state of New Jersey in lovely Newark. Take a stay and whip a whiff of our flowers. Very nice. What's up, Game Boy? Good evening. How you doing, man? Thanks, Mayor of Newark. Really appreciate your invite. I'll have to weigh and balance that one. Let's see here. Jared just did a whopping $47 tip. 47 bucks. Thank you to Jared for that. Wow. So let's go ahead and play the $30 animation. That's the closest one. So Jared is absolutely the biggest contributor of tonight's stream. And that gets us to $102 in tips on a random stream. You guys are amazing today. You guys really were nice to me today. So thank you guys so very much. I'm glad that you guys have been obviously enjoying the stuff that I'm doing. Now, we don't have a lot of time, so I'm just going to go grab a hat and toss one on because we just don't have time to do it. We haven't done this hat in quite some time. I don't know why. You guys haven't voted for it. I'll just wear it for tonight, the Los Santos cap. So, Jared says, give me the naughty Nightwear now. The Fallout 3 NPC from 2008. That's right. That happened. I still remember that moment, and I just relived it recently because a montage was made over on the DSP throwback channel that was released of the best Fallout moments in history that I ever did. And it has that naughty Nightwear moment. And it's funny because I'm watching the Fallout 3 playthrough, the original, and this is the one that's getting upscaled, stretched to widescreen because I didn't even have like a widescreen camera. But then I started watching like that moment, the naughty Nightwear moment, is widescreen at full HD, and I'm like, what? And I realized I didn't do that right away. That actually happened later. I did a DLC called Operation Anchorage where I got a Tesla cannon, and then as I was exploring underground in the sewers, I came across that moment. That moment is from the original game, but I never had run into it in my original playthrough. I only ran into it much later after I had played a DLC. I was like, oh, I always thought that it was part of the original run, and it's actually not. It's like one of the expansions. So by the way, so right now, we're doing the base vanilla playthrough of Fallout 3. When that's done, there's an entire second run, another 20 hours of additional content playthrough, where I go and try to do all the side quests of Fallout 3. And then after that, we could eventually do DLCs too. So it's really whatever you guys want with the Fallout 3 playthrough, okay? But right now, we're just doing the base playthrough, and we'll see how long it takes, and we'll go from there. Excuse me. Rex420 Red, I do not take inspiration from any other YouTubers. I just do my own thing, as you know. I don't try to be like anyone else or learn from anyone else. Do my wife and I watch some other YouTubers and or streamers? Yes, but I would never name names because I have such an abusive hater base that follows me around that I don't want them to then send people to go harass those people. So that's why I don't talk about it. There you go. What were my favorite cartoons growing up, if any? First, earliest cartoons I can remember watching were things like He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, stuff like that. That was like the first cartoon I was a huge fan of, and I wanted like action figures and things of it. After that, it was things like Transformers and G.I. Joe and the real Ghostbusters cartoon to tie in with the movies. After that, it definitely went into like Ninja Turtles. And then after that, it was the X-Men cartoon. And then things like the Disney afternoon cartoons I always watched, like Chippendale Rescue Rangers, DuckTales, Tailspin, that kind of stuff. Darkwing Duck, right? And then, yeah, Thundercats as well. I used to watch Thundercats along with, like, He-Man, some of my earliest cartoons I ever watched. And then probably mid-2000s, started watching the Batman animated, mid-2000s, excuse me, mid-90s or early to mid-90s Batman animated series, and stuff like that. And then basically when I got heavily into Street Fighter, that's when I just stopped caring about that. I stopped collecting comics. I stopped watching cartoons. It was just Street Fighter time. And I just went heavily. Everything I did was playing Street Fighter. So. Yeah, Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball was huge over here. Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z was huge, where it would air like new episodes 5 days a week on Cartoon Network. And then people would try to get like the Japanese version, which was like fucking 20 seasons ahead, which was funny as hell. Yeah, I remember like while the Frieza saga was going on here, people were getting like the end of the Buu saga from Japan and watching it. They were trying to get like bootleg dubs and shit like that because it wasn't on the internet yet. So they were just trying to get all that shit from Japan on bootleg copies. It was pretty crazy. Would I watch the new X-Men animated series? I mean, I'm not going to go crazy for it. I don't even know what it's on, honestly. Is it Disney Plus? I don't know what it's on. Eventually, if I have access to it, maybe I would give it a look. I've heard people like it a lot. I loved the X-Men cartoon in the 90s. I literally haven't given it a second thought. I've never watched the X-Men cartoon since the 1990s, so... you know? I am not into anime, no. Not a big anime guy. Nope. Am I caught up in Invincible? No, never watched season 2. I liked season 1. I really didn't like the split season aspect of Invincible. I think that fucked it up because remember I was going to review it, and then it was like, oh, only like 4 episodes. Wait 2 months and then another 4 episodes. I was like, fuck that. That's the worst thing I've ever heard of. Why would you split the fucking season? That's dumb as shit. I don't want to wait. So I just didn't care, and I haven't watched it, and I don't really care about it. I think that's a really dumb thing. Like, The Boys is coming up, correct? And sometime in June. When The Boys comes out, I likely will watch it and review it and let you know what I think about it. And I think what I did, I think I saw the first 2 seasons of The Boys, so I guess I got to get caught up on the 3rd. I think I might have started watching the 3rd. Wasn't? Okay. Was season 3 the season where they synthesize a drug that people can inject into themselves to temporarily get superpowers? Was that season 3? Because I saw some of that, but I did not finish it. I actually don't even remember how far into it I got. Yes, that was season 3, so that was the last season they did? Okay. So I guess either I'll have to finish the season or maybe I'll just read a plot synopsis so I know what happened at the end of season 3. And then I'll watch season 4 and I'll probably review that for you guys. Yeah, see, Soldier Boy was in it, right? But I didn't finish the season. I know Soldier Boy was in that season, but I didn't finish it, so I actually don't know what happened in the plot at all. Jared did a $10 super chat. And he says, I know you don't watch football. When you did, who was your team? I'm a Patriots fan. You're living in Connecticut at the time. I really hope that you don't say the Jets. No, when I was younger, all of my teams were New York, but it was always the off team. So literally it was the Mets, the Jets, and who was the other team? Oh, the Knicks. Those are the 3 teams that I always liked. But then as I got older, when I was watching football in the mid-2000s, I kind of followed a lot of New England teams. Like, I followed the Giants. I followed the Patriots. Anything that was like a New England team, I was kind of interested in that region. So, yeah. I didn't necessarily have a team. Like, I was never, like, behind one team. I liked watching football just for watching it and seeing how good all the teams were against each other. I didn't really care about, like, one particular team to root for. Gen V is a spinoff that's 1 season and important to the plot. I'll probably have to read a synopsis of that then. I doubt I'm going to get to watch it. I received a $2 tip from Super Snow Carl Turbo HD Remix. Fun question. What should Nintendo game name the Switch successor? I believe it should be called Nintendo Super Switch. They should call it Switch 2, but the Nintendo has numbered their consoles. Now, they're never going to number it. So, they're going to call it something different. What would they? I mean, it's gonna be something stupid. Like, why do you even call it the Switch? Because you switch between handheld and docked modes? Is that even why they call it the Switch? Does that even make sense? What's the one thing you think about when you think about the Switch? That you can make it a handheld and a dock? Like, how about the Wii U? First it was the Wii, then it was the Wii U. What the fuck did Wii U mean? What did Wii mean? None of it made any sense at all. The GameCube makes sense because it was a cube that played games. The Nintendo 64 made sense because it was a 64-bit Nintendo console. The Super Nintendo made sense because it was a super version of the original Nintendo. But what the fuck was the Wii and the Wii U and now the Switch? Like, it seems like the names are getting progressively stupider, right? Well, I don't even know. What would you call it? The Nintendo... Whoa, the Nintendo Woho. W-O-H-O. The Nintendo Woho. There you go. Dark Maggie says they should call it Super Switch. Super Switch. Oh, God. I'm glad you liked Harold Halibut Generation Z. I didn't get too far in that one. The audience didn't really like it that much, if you remember. Got 3 hours in and people were literally falling asleep watching. Told me never to play it again, so I listened. Wii is supposed to be what the controller says when it swings out of your hand. Oh, when you lose control and it smashes the TV. Oh, I got it. So the Wii is what happens when the controller loses control and smashes your TV. Wii! And then there's a crash. Wii U is what happens when there's people playing the game and they lose control and the controller flies at you and you pick up the giant, oversized, stupid-ass controller with a screen and you deflect the controller like a projectile. You say, you knock it back at them. Yes. Of course that's what it is. What do I think of toy reviewers? I have literally never seen a toy reviewer, so I have no comment on them Game Boy. I don't know anything about them. Dark Megan thinks it should be Switch 2 because that's what PlayStation does and it works for them. Sid says, in the commercials they say we would like to play, so I assume that's what it meant. Yeah, but in Japanese, it's not, the word we is not pronounced we. Nor is it spelled W-I-I, so it doesn't even make sense. That's such a lame justification of the name. Is this an extra long stream? No, this is about the time as long as a normal stream would be at night. We're gonna adjourn in just a few minutes here. Am I planning on watching Godzilla -1 if it ever becomes available somewhere? Sure. I assume it's gonna eventually hit Max, so I'll watch it there, I guess. Dabian says the Switch has its name because in Japan, advertising campaign was playing. It was a literal switch from normal daily things to being entertained. You were flipping life like a switch. Wow, that's bad too. That's really bad too. Switch. Oh my God. My entire life is based around career success. I worked 72 hours within 2 days. I don't even know how that's possible. I'm finally home. Time to switch on games. That is so silly. Jade, have a good night. I had not watched the Dune movie. I did not see the first one. I'm not really interested in the second one because I didn't see the first one. I think the reason I'm turned off to Dune used to play a lot on regular television in the 80s. Okay, the original version. And I remember seeing it like as a kid. You know how it's syndicated, it has ads and shit. I just remember seeing it. Everyone has the weird, really oversaturated, bright blue eyes. The effect was really bad, in my opinion. And it was just so odd and off-putting and not good. And I remember certain scenes from the movie. I just remember it being so fucking boring, right? Then later on, I had to watch it in film school. Well, not film school, but in college, university. I had a pop culture class, and we had to watch it. And I remember watching it, and I was super bored. I was just like, wow, I just don't like this. So, I mean, that was a good over 20 years ago. So maybe if I watched it today, I would like it. But so, because the idea of a post-apocalyptic world where everyone lives in a desert and there's this fucking spice that gives you powers and shit. Like, it's just so weird. And I don't know. It's just like, that's not entertaining to me. Like, that's just boring. I don't know. Maybe the whole idea of a sand world is just boring to me. You know? So I don't know. Maybe, but again, I didn't watch it recently, so I can't really comment, right? Dark Magus says the new ones are actually much better than the original. Okay. Maybe eventually I'll give them a shot. I just haven't gotten around to convincing myself to spending. The other thing is they're so effing long. Isn't the first one like 3 hours? It's like, if I want to watch the 2 movies, I got to have like a week to fucking start watching this like an hour a night or something. It's take forever, you know? As I'm getting older, I'm finding myself liking shorter films or series that have digestible episodes. Like a series where the episode is 45 minutes to maybe an hour. That's good. I can maybe watch one. If I really want to binge, I can watch 2 episodes a night as I'm going to sleep, right? But I like the fact that it's short form and I can watch it slow burn stuff. I don't like the idea that the movie's fucking 3 hours long and there's like no logical stopping point to stop watching it. There's no episode break, right? Jade, I will not see you tomorrow. That's right. You're not here for the React stuff. I'll see you Monday. Sounds good. Thoughts on Eraserhead? I think I saw it, the movie, and it was freaky as shit. Isn't that one where the guy is like brutally murders people, and then there's like a mutated baby or some shit, and I can't even tell if the baby's real or not? It's a really weird movie, isn't it? I don't understand it. I think I watched it. I was like, what the fuck did I watch? That's correct. The actor who played Lucy's dad in Fallout was also the main actor of Dune the movie, was also the main protagonist of Twin Peaks television show. It's all the same actor. That's right. Eraserhead is a David Lynch movie. I totally forgot that it was a David Lynch movie. That's why it's so weird. Right. Magoo, what's going on? Guys, we're about to wind down. All right, so last chance. If you have something you want to say or ask quickly, you know, last chance for any contribution before I'm out of here for the night, okay? I did not see the new Mad Max trailer. No, I did not. Terminator review, what does that mean? Terminator review laughing out loud. What does that mean? Do I have any consideration for Lords of the Fallen? No, we just beat Another Crab's Treasure, and in a month we've got the DLC for Elden Rings. I'm not planning on playing Lords of the Fallen anytime soon. Again, people keep trying to convince me to play it, and then when I ask, well, what was good about it, no one can answer. Oh, but it was a good Souls-like. Yeah, was it as good as Lies of P? Oh, no, it definitely wasn't. Well, then why do I want to play it? You know? All right. Seems like that's about it. All right, guys. Well, thank you for a chill night. Thanks for the conversation. Thanks for the fun. And thank you for the chill vibes. And, of course, the support. Doing something impromptu like this every once in a while is nice, right? It definitely breaks up the content. And, honestly, I think we got a lot more out of this than if I did 2 hours of Helldivers 2. And I think it's official. Helldivers 2 we're going to put on hiatus now. Until there's new content in the game, like a new alien race or new map type or new game type, I just don't see the point in grinding in it. Again, it would be one thing if I had a team of dedicated gamers I was playing with and it was more about the camaraderie and the having the online social thing. I don't have that. So because of that, it's just kind of boring, right? So we'll come back to it at a future date. I think this was a perfect, you know, substitution for it. I really enjoyed myself. I hope that you guys did too. Every once in a while, just doing a random stream like this is good. Thing is, though, I feel like coming up, we're not going to have many more of these, and here's why. At least not in the near future. Here's why. Street Fighter update. I'm going to be playing a lot more Street Fighter. We're going to have new games coming out. In addition, we're about to do an Indies marathon, and I bet some of those indie games, particularly not Helldivers 2, Hades 2, people might actually want to see me play it as opposed to just test it. So I get the feeling we're going to have a whole new slew of games that's going to be coming in. Plus, there's other games to play, like the System Shock remake that people are interested in. Multiverses is coming back to test out. I don't know if I'll play it long term, but to test it out, see how it is. There's things coming and happening that I think people are going to be very interested in. So we're going to have stuff to do. I don't think we're going to have like empty nights with no options anymore, which is good. You know, just we'll see how it goes. Okay. All right, everyone. Well, thank you again. Great evening impromptu hangout session. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you soon.